What's something that sucks about being a man? 1. The other day, a female friend suggested we hang out. I said, sure. She said she was hungry and knew a restaurant nearby, so we went there. We walked in, and she said, table for 2. We sat down, and she ordered a sandwich. I wasn't hungry, so I didn't order anything. After ordering her sandwich, she asked for the dessert menu and ordered a molten lava cake. I didn't have a single bite. Then she called the waiter over and asked for the check. He came back 30 seconds later and handed the check to me. Let me repeat that. My female friend suggested we go out to eat. She was the only person talking to the waitstaff. I just said, thank you a few times. She was the only person who ordered and ate, and she was the person who asked for the check. And yet, the waiter still handed the check to me. Always being expected to pay is definitely something that sucks about being a man, especially when you didn't eat anything. 2. Window seat on a plane. I was traveling with my wife on an Airbus A320. My wife asked, what are our seat numbers? I said, it's 27E and 27F. She said, then the window seat is mine. I said, but why always? I want to enjoy the view too. She argued. I argued. She cried. Finally, she won the seat, by what I call the Duckworth-Lewis method. This totally sucks. 3. My wife had a 6-month affair. When I found out, I left her. A number of people assumed I was the one who cheated on her, which bothered me. I corrected them. Worse were all the people who assumed I must have done something wrong to deserve it, that I was still the bad guy. People told me I must have not paid enough attention to her or that I somehow drove her to it. Some refused to believe I didn't do something wrong to cause her to cheat. All I can say is that I loved her and treated her like a queen. When I've asked her why she did it, her response has always been that I was a terrific husband, that she loved me, and that she regrets it. The guy was nearly 20 years younger than her. He was in his early 20s, she was nearly 40. He was attractive and charming, and she found him irresistible. So that's a double standard I've lived through and find unfair. If I had cheated, I'd have been labeled a creep or a jerk. When she has an affair, I'm still somehow the jerk. Who's to blame? 4. My daughter Sophia is 11, 4 feet 9 inches, and 80 pounds. I'm 5 feet 11 inches and 190 pounds. She takes Kempo karate and wanted to show me the snap kick she was perfecting. When I raised my hand and encouraged her to give me her best shot, Sophia delivered a vicious kick that whiffed on my hand and caught me full in the groin, dropping me like a sack of rocks. Daddy, I'm so sorry, she exclaimed, hovering over me as I lay face down on the floor, gasping for air with tears in my eyes. No, sweetie, Daddy's fine. He's never been prouder. Unfortunately for us guys, even Mighty Thor would drop to his knees if Sophia kicked him in the hammer. 5. I was walking in the park when I saw a little girl, about 4 years old, crying her eyes out next to the playground. There were no adults around, just her, sobbing her little heart out. All I wanted to do was go up, lower myself to her level, give her a little hug, and ask where her mommy and daddy were. But I couldn't. Modern society says that a man on his own near a park talking to children is a threat, so I had to keep my distance until I got the attention of a woman walking her dog. Society is broken when a man feels he can't even comfort a crying child. I understand it, but it truly sucks. 6. I have several female friends who worked hard in school and then got prestigious jobs. But prestigious jobs often come with long hours and tough work. They made fairly good money, but after a long, frustrating day at work, they would sometimes joke, I need to find a rich husband so I can be a housewife. And some of them did. One of them moved to another country where traditional gender roles are more prevalent, and she found herself a really rich husband. Then a few of the other girls moved too. And I kid you not, they also found rich husbands. I've met a lot of women who've jumped up the socioeconomic ladder through marriage, but guys? I haven't met a single one. Generally speaking, women still expect men to make at least as much as they do. So what sucks about being a guy? The immense pressure to be financially successful. As much as we try to deny it, society is obsessed with financial status and will measure a man's worth based on his wealth. 7. I was traveling by bus to a destination and was sitting alone in a seat meant for 2 people, on the window side. The scenery was beautiful, and I was lost in the view, enjoying the beauty of nature. The bus stopped, and a lady, who looked to be over 60, boarded. There were 2 empty seats, one next to me and one behind me, where a man was sitting in the window seat, also enjoying the scenery. The lady stood beside me, thought for a while, and then asked me to switch seats with the man behind me. I was confused. Why couldn't she sit beside me or him? Are we going to eat you? Why kill our enjoyment? But she was adamant and started creating a scene. I had to get up and sit beside the man. He sensed my reaction and kindly offered me the window seat, but I thanked him and chose to sit in the L seat. What an unnecessary sacrifice. You have to kneel before fake feminism. That sucks about being a man sometimes.